Hey everybody, it's Party Elite, welcoming you back to another episode of our Planet Zoo franchise mode Let's Play, where we're diving right back into Elite Zoo North with a lot to accomplish today. There is so much going on right now, and there's so much I want to try and get done today, so I'm really excited to dive in immediately and see how much we can accomplish. I just want to mention a couple things right off the bat. As always, folks, if you've been enjoying this series and you'd like to see it continue, please don't hesitate to let me know by leaving a like and a comment down below. Said it countless times before, it makes a huge difference in how I approach content on the channel. I look at the number of likes and comments, I read all the comments, it does make a very big difference. Now, apart from that, just want to mention something right off the bat, folks. It's nothing to be worried about, but if you follow me on Twitter, and if you don't follow me on Twitter, link is in the description down below, but if you do follow me on Twitter, you will have seen that last night, and actually over the course of yesterday, I was hit by a terrible migraine. Again, it's nothing to be worried about. I get migraines from time to time. It's no big deal. And it was kind of going away, but then just literally moments ago today, it started coming back again. And I'm hoping it's not going to get in the way of this session in any way. I'm going to do the time lapse right off the bat, just do all the beautification down over here, do another beauty pass as much as possible across the zoo. So we're actually going to skip time ahead, so it's daytime. I don't want to wait around because it's September right now. It's going to start snowing any moment. We're not going to have an ideal time lapse, sort of situation or ideal time lapse weather. So what we're going to do is, as much as I hate changing time when I don't absolutely have to, we're going to change time. We're going to do a beauty pass, or rather, we'll start the beauty pass, we'll do lighting, then we'll change time and continue the beauty pass in daytime. And after that, I'm hoping to get a fair bit of management stuff done as well. I saw your responses and thoughts and opinions with regards to our pronghorn antelopes. I've seen your thoughts, well, across the board. Lots to do. I'm hoping to get it all accomplished. The only reason I mention the migraine is because if this episode is a little short, I apologize. But that's why I'm just not feeling 100%. But of course, I will try to get her done, as they say. So, folks, no time to waste. Let's begin the time lapse. All right, folks, all talk of feeling unwell and headaches aside, I am really pleased with how this time lapse ends up. We accomplish quite a bit. We do our beauty pass. We determine a slight aesthetic shift as well. There are a couple of questions that it all ends with that I will be positing to you, but I'm overall very happy with how this time lapse goes. Now, first things first, we do a little bit of lighting because it's nighttime already, so making the inside of the cave kind of orange, like the glow of gold, if you will, or dragon's breath, or whatever it might be, whatever story we want to go with there when you're talking to your kids about this enclosure. But again, I try to think about the experience that our guests have when they come to the zoo, right? But yeah, so just some quick lighting work over here to take advantage of the fact that it's already nighttime before we transport ourselves to the future and make it noon or whatever. But yeah, I really like the orange inside with the whole gold or dragon theme. On the outside, using this blue because it feels very ethereal. It feels very otherworldly. It feels like it matches the whole idea that we've been discussing of like these ruins that you come upon. I feel, to me, it gives a sense of the unexplored and the unknown because it feels so, otherworldly. And I'm sure, or at least I'm fairly confident that once we get all the other elements in the nearby area done, that is to say, the jungle with the orangutan and all that stuff, once all that's done, and I do some lighting for the trees this session as well during this time lapse, once all that's done, I feel like it'll be a complete package. It'll all come together. Plus, we'll add the smoke and mist, all the VFX. That'll, I think, bring the entire space to life. That was me just very quickly checking on Nikedra to make sure that checking on Nikedra, checking on the memorial to make sure that it was lit up properly. Otherwise, I would do the lighting over there in this time lapse as well. But nope, we were done there. Now over here you can see, just quickly lighting up the trees. Nothing new here. You've seen how I've done it before. Getting that bottom lit with a very vibrant lime green. Again, gives that real otherworldly feel. I was contemplating trying some other colors as well, but I didn't want it to feel alien. And obviously, if this was like, if there were cherry blossoms, then sure, I would play around with like things like pink, but here I wanted to go with, again, the whole idea is that like nature's taking over, right? So I wanted it to feel, I'm gonna say supernatural, but I don't mean supernatural in the typical sense of the word. I mean like natural plus plus, I guess, is what I'm getting at. Yeah, but look at that. Yeah, you know, I even took a moment there to just kind of sit and take it all in and get a feel for like if I like it or not. I think it's looking great, and I think once it's all completed, it'll look like exactly, you know, what I was hoping for, I suppose. Now here you can see I'm kind of contemplating my life decisions because and I think I mentioned this at the beginning of this time lapse already, but there's a bit of an aesthetic shift that I want to implement in this corner over here, and when I say in that corner, I mean more than just the vendors and whatnot, but more on that in a bit. First things first, we're going to be putting down a name for this enclosure finally. And again, y'all can see how hard it can be to pick names sometimes because I always get such fantastic suggestions. But this time around for the name, I thought let's try something a little different in terms of the typography rather than using the traditional like lettering pieces that come with the game. Thought, why not use some of these logs? Again, it matches the idea of like it's the climbing area for the snow leopard, so it builds into the enclosure. I'd be shocked if the snow leopards actually use it. That'd be awesome if they use it. But nonetheless, the letters were also relatively, you know, easy, so to speak, to make with these pieces. So I was like, all right, now's a good opportunity to take advantage of something like this. So, folks, Kathmandu is a part of the zoo. Kathmandu, of course. I mean, the 4 that you saw listed for voting were my favorites. And it's hard to pick between the 4 which one was my favorite, if I'm completely honest. But obviously, if any of them had won, I wouldn't have been disappointed in any way, shape, or form. I love the name suggestions y'all come up with. It's always fun to sift through them and pick them and whatnot, but also challenging. Anyway, so yeah, I got the Kathmandu sign up, you know, a little bit like the Hollywood sign, I guess, integrating it with the enclosure a bit nicely. I think so. At least I think it's nicer than just having regular typography. And on the topic of custom typography, I've got a plan for an epitaph that goes in here. It was a beautiful suggestion that I got in the comments, and I edited it a little bit just to be just slightly because I felt like it worked a little bit better with the space we had and stuff. And I thought, why not let's accomplish that today as well. Get it done during this beauty pass. Folks, I forgot how long it takes to mess around with these letters. I forgot just how intricate an experience it can be, especially in such a small and confined space. So maybe what we're gonna do is we're gonna write this epitaph out, sure, but rather than do it all at once, I think we're gonna maybe do it like one word at a time or something. Every time we do a beauty pass, we add a little bit more to it because this took, I don't even remember how long just writing the one word took. Took a long time. And I was like, you know what? I'm not going to get any of the important stuff done. I need to focus back over here. Now, I think I make a bit of a mistake over here. I just want to touch on this a little bit. Last session, I made a mistake with these foo dogs. Yeah, I make a mistake here. So, see, I've always known, I think I mentioned this last session as well, my family has a pair of these as a little like sculpture that we, you know, keep in the house. Like a small one, like a tabletop one, not a giant one at the doorway. But the foo dogs are actually lions, and they're a part of the whole, you know, concept of feng shui and all that. The way it works is there's a pair of them. They always come in pairs. And so I was a little bummed out that there was only the one model. It was pointed out in the comments of the previous session that I made a mistake and that the other model is available. Lo and behold, yes, the other model is available. So there is one of the lions, and you can see them at the bottom right now even. There's one lion which has its left paw up and the other lion that has its right paw up. Now the game has them labeled as one of them labeled as mirrored, which is inaccurate. They are 2 separate models, and you actually saw me in the time lapse. I zoomed in to look which one was which, because again, this is a very important part of, I shouldn't say very important without being 100% certain, but it is, from my understanding, is an important part of you know, the culture in the area. Now it's supposedly brought in from South Asian Buddhism. So it was when people from India traveled to this area, the idea of the lion as a guardian of dharma, or dharma, I suppose. It was something. It was a concept that was brought through. So the lion is a very important sort of guardian figure. Except in Southeast Asia and even in China, the lion isn't. There's no such thing as a lion. So the sculpture of the lion, the artistry of the lion, was built based off of the description given by these travelers who came in from, again, supposedly India. So these people, again, you get lions in India. These people were describing a lion, and yeah, these people drawing this lion out, it didn't really look like a lion. It kind of looked like dogs that were very common in this area, in geographically speaking. So that's why there's like the name Foo Dog, but also it's supposed to be a lion. That's why the back and forth. Anyways, sorry, I digress. So the Foo Dog, which is again supposed to be a lion, so the Chinese guardian lion, they're always in pairs, and I'm pretty sure I messed up which one should be on which side, because I forgot while doing the time lapse. I forgot that you're supposed to consider left and right from the outside of the house when it comes to these lions. So on the right, I believe, and feel free to correct me in the comments as always if I've got this wrong, but on the right is supposed to be the one that has a cub under her paw. So the one on the right is the female, and having the cub under the paw is a reflection of like the maternal protective instinct approach, or whatever you want to call it. And the other one is the male Foo Dog, and he has the globe under his right paw. And that's supposed to represent protection over his world, which is his home, like the protection over his of his home, of his world, and hence the globe under his paw. So they're always in pairs. So last session when I put the same one down on both sides, I technically did the wrong thing. And I'm glad it was pointed out, because if it wasn't pointed out in the comments, I wouldn't have checked to see that both models were available. I'm glad they are, but yeah, I'm pretty sure I have them backwards. I'll have to check. Anyway, as I was rambling about that, and I hope you all don't mind my ramblings, as I was rambling about that, you can see I built a custom floor tiling system. And this kind of has to do with the new aesthetic that I think I mentioned again at the top of this time lapse. I'm really having a hard time tracking what I said and haven't said. I apologize for that. But basically, it was mentioned in the comments of the previous episode that a gray stone approach is possible. Now, I will say one thing. So, I try to not watch other channels that also do Planet Zoo in this case, because I want to challenge myself with coming up with ideas on my own. And it's nothing against any of the other channels that are doing stuff as well. I just want to try and find the solutions myself. That's part of the fun for me, that's all. So it was pointed out in the comments that somebody else had actually managed to do like the gray stone style. And I was like, oh, okay. So I'm missing something. I want to figure this out. And for me, that's part of the fun for me. So I was like, all right, how can we do this? And I realized before recording this session, as I was mulling over the pieces, I was like, oh, you know what? I think I know how we can do this. I think I know how we can get the gray stone temple look going. And I am actually really happy with the end result. In fact, I am so happy with the end result that I'm contemplating redoing the actual main, I guess, gateway temples, shrines that we have up top, because I think it looks good. And again, this is part of the reason why I say I always like reading through the comments, because I'll bring something up, you'll bring something to my attention, whether it's the Foo Dogs, or it's the fact that the gray stone aesthetic is possible, whatever it might be. And seeing that in a comment does, for me personally, it's a me thing, I guess. It makes me second guess or reconsider my paradigms and try things again. And I enjoy that. Think of it like challenge accepted, except without the negativity that's often associated with that mentality. But yeah, this is the trick. So we're still using India pieces, but we're not using the sandstone ones. We're using the ones we can recolor. They completely slipped my mind. And you can see me kind of skipping back and forth over here because I've got Photoshop open and I'm color picking the stone material so I can get close to it. And I'm pretty happy with how close we get with the colors. But yeah, it didn't occur to me that I could just use the India pieces that can be recolored. And I'm using even more of these pieces now to build the roof. And I've got these pillars that look like the right pieces. It has opened up a whole new world. A new fantastic point of view, if you will. No one can... I'm going to stop. I'm going to stop. But yeah, so this was really exciting for me. Because this is so much closer, right? Now, that's not to take anything away from what we did previously. Because it's not inaccurate. Again, I did my research, I found a reference, and I was using a reference. So it's not inaccurate. There was this one... I should look up the name so I can reference it directly. But there is this one palace or temple in Bali that I was referencing at that bright, vibrant orange. And I was like, yeah, I like this. We can execute this good. But now that I've executed the Greystone version, and because of the limitations it puts on me aesthetically, I'm tempted to switch over. I want to hear what y'all think. Let me know in the comments. Do we redo the Komodo Dragon enclosure kind of buildings in this new aesthetic? It's hard. It's hard to pick, but I'm really liking how this is looking. And it's again just a matter of just like finding the parts in the models and clipping them correctly and whatnot. But yeah, pretty happy with how this has come together. And I'm curious how others have done it. And this is why I try not to watch others, because I like having my own solution, and it potentially opens up, multiple solutions for people. It's just, I don't know. I guess I've kind of always been that way. Anyway, so I noticed this piece as well might be nice to make some floor tiles, and now I'm making more floor tiles. I might get rid of these, actually. They kind of break my aesthetic. In my head, it looked like stone that had been beaten down. I guess it kind of does. It's a little too haphazardly placed, though. It doesn't look like it belongs to the tiles that were already there previously. So in hindsight, I might want to change that. Anyway, you can see I'm kind of going back and forth as ideas keep striking me. But here, yeah, just going to finish the rooftop off with one more layer to this cake, if you will. A little bit more color variety. A couple more pillars here and there. Just little touches. Again, I got my references open to the side, so I'm trying to get as close as possible. And then I also come across this like water shrine. I'm like, oh, you know what? The legs of the water shrine are actually quite nice to build a bit of a topper. And just a little bit more height to it, I think, is all we need. Oh, yeah, no, of course. A little bit more ornamentation. These are very ornate structures. They're beautiful structures. Beautiful structures. And I'm glad that I was able to figure this out. I thought I held that freeze frame for longer, but clearly I did not. Anyways, folks, that's the last thing I do this time lapse, because now I need to figure out if we're going to apply this look across the board. And for that, I turn to you. For now, that's the time lapse. All right, folks, we are back from a pretty long time lapse. Actually, I never expect, I don't know why I do this. I always underestimate how long things will take to execute. And wowza, I didn't get as much done as I wanted to, but there's a reason why I stopped short of covering everything up. Folks, do we rebuild everything to match the Greystone aesthetic? I wouldn't mind doing that. I kind of really like what I've got going on over here. And there's a long story about my sort of process of getting here, and I'm sure I've already explained it in the time lapse, or I hope I've explained it during the time lapse, so I'm not going to go over it again. But do we make everything into this Greystone look? Because it is the more common, and like when I say common look, I mean it is the more geographically and like culturally appropriate look. So I wouldn't mind doing it. I have no issue with that. I'm more curious about if y'all are okay with me spending some more time rebuilding this enclosure rather than building a new one. Well, what I was thinking was what I would do is I would when I get the orangutan coming through, I would at the same time build changes into the Komodo Dragon one. Sorry, I just noticed this was not exactly how I wanted it to be, and I have to fix it because I'm neurotic like that sometimes. That's a little bit better. No, still not quite right. Sorry. Just give me a second here, folks. I need to. But as I'm doing this, not to just kill time fixing this in silence, the big thing is, like, I understand everyone wants new animals. I mean, I want new animals as well, which is why I'm throwing the question out there rather than unilaterally making the decision. What I'm thinking is, what I'll do is, as I'm putting the orangutan down, I will, at that same time, redo the aesthetic of the Komodo dragon enclosure as well. It'd be a good way to kind of like, it'd be a good way to get it all unified. And now that I know that we can get this kind of graystone aesthetic working, I'm tempted to do that, because this, I mean, this definitely looks a lot more like what I would expect to see from that part of the world. I mean, again, I did research, and so I know that the colorful temple is not unacceptable, but this is certainly more along the lines of, I think, what we expect when we think of that part of the world. So lots to think about. I posit it to y'all. Now, while you're thinking about that and you're letting me know in the comments, let's continue some of our management stuff. And again, I'm going to try and get a lot done. I apologize if I have to cut things short, but let's make sure we do some of the most important stuff first. Now, first thing I want to do, obviously, is officially name Kathmandu. I mean, there were some great name suggestions, and I just, wow. Also, Kathmandu got by far the largest number of votes, with, oh, I forget now what was the close second, but Kathmandu it had, I think, 900 votes, and the second place was 300 votes or something like that. So Kathmandu it is for the snow leopards. Again, you can see the struggle I have when I get all these great name suggestions. You can see how hard it is sometimes to pick between them, right? I saw some of y'all mention it in the comments as well, like, oh man, this wasn't easy. Yeah, it's never easy. It's never easy, and it's because you guys have some great ideas. So in terms of the pronghorn antelope, basically I would say 99% of you were thinking what I was thinking, which is we should keep our A-star Sirius over here, make him the new father. I'm gonna say make him the new daddy, but that, I mean, I've said it now, but make him the new father. Get rid of the females that he cannot have children with, because again, he literally got us an achievement, a Steam achievement. So he's a trophy buck, I guess. But also, if I'm talking about him, I should be looking at him, right? Where are you, buddy? There you are. So, he's look, this is some of the best genes that we've got out of our zoo. It would be a shame to just give him away or release him to the wild. Like, this is part of the game, is getting the best genetics. And if we keep him, we keep some of the best genetics in the zoo for a while, so that we could spread, so that we can propagate the better genes, so that, a couple generations down the line, every animal we release or trade out will have higher genetic, will be from a better stock, so to speak. So I feel like it makes sense. And also, yeah, he's our baby. So let's go ahead and check who he cannot be with. So recent births, you're fine. So, okay, Zantara, or you know what, the best way to do this is actually look at, I believe it's in the stud book. If we look at parents and siblings, there we go. This is everyone that has to go, including his brothers, of course, because you can't, it will have ratio problems otherwise. So over to the zoo, take a look at animals. We'll have to do some exhibit trading as well, I think, today. But first, let's do our... I'm so excited. I'm so happy about this. And it really does make me want to get more directly involved with picking the animals and whatnot. Having such a great selection makes me want to get more directly involved. So all the males must go except for Sirius. He is, I mean, that name, it's perfect. Vanessa, you've got to go. Unfortunately, the kids can't go, but they can be put on contraceptives. So eventually, later, I'll find them more easily. They're males as well. Zophany, Zed is up there. You are also a child. Okay. Sante? Like saunter? Also a child. Welsie. Female Welsie. It's not that bad, actually. Vanessa and Welsie are the only adult females. All the other females are good. The males need to go because otherwise we're going to have ratio problems. So yeah, okay, cool. So let's go ahead and send y'all. I could release them to the wild. I have a decent number of conservation credits. So I'm going to go ahead and release them to the wild. Let's do it. The only thing that scares me about releasing to the wild is that it is a one and done. I've clicked the button. It is not possible to take it back. Sirius's name is not in here. You know what, Zane? We're going to keep Zane. We're going to trade him out. The reason why we're going to trade Zane out is because I'm going to keep yeah. Because again, good genes. We want other zoos to have good genes as well. Let's release everybody else. Zane. Over, you know, that's a decent number of conservation credits. But right, this is Zane is going to be traded out. Thinking along the lines of like more zoos require good genetics so that we can win as a whole, right? Like the whole idea of Planet Zoo isn't to be a zoo from a purely profit sense. It's also about conservation efforts and whatnot. And when it comes to conservation, we all have to work together for that. Not to get too like preachy or anything, but that's kind of what I'm playing at over here by sending our really good not our best pronghorn antelope, because why not keep the best for ourselves, and because we're also helping the situation. But send to the trade center. But our second best or not so best, we can still trade out so other people have a good chance as well, is what I'm thinking. But obviously, keep the best for yourself if you need to. And currently, I would say we need to. So verily, someone we can trade out as well. And where is? Oh, I guess I got to unpause for animals to move. And it was suggested that I actually just trade out all of the tigers. Trade them all out. We've got our new breeding pair, which is of extremely high quality. If we can find them. Very good at hiding. Where are we? Animals. At 10 tigers. That's ridiculous. So yeah, Ronith over here has fantastic genes, rubbing his chin against a tree, it looks like right now. But those are like amazing genes. No white tiger should have genes that good. And over here, we've got the mum to be Syra, who again, great genes. So I feel like everybody else should, we can trade them out. It hurts to do. Again, I love tigers. It hurts to do, but it's best for them rather than them just, if you love something, you should be able to let it go. Wow, this is a really deep episode. Yeah, but point being, there's better things they could be doing, so I should set them up for that. So verily, let's go ahead and check animal market. How much does a pronghorn antelope go for? A decent quality pronghorn antelope. Female specifically, because again, they trade for different prices, obviously. Okay, 1,000 is not a reasonable, because albino. Now, there was an interesting point brought up in the comments that I wanna address. The point was that this game shouldn't, it shouldn't encourage the breeding of albino animals, because from a conservation perspective, it's not really the best thing for them. Looks like 700 is approximately where we want to sit. 600, 700. And that's a good point. Yes, albino animals, they don't have their patterns and stuff to hide in the wild. It's not as their genetics are typically worse. But the game doesn't really highlight some of those issues. But the funny thing is, the game doesn't really encourage the breeding of things like white tigers. It's the people that are playing the game that do, because we're the ones who ultimately are willing to. We didn't just buy Verly, did we? You know what? Even if we did, whatever, we'll buy another different one. We're the ones who are willing to pay a higher price for the albino animals, and so it kind of that's on us. All these guys were traded out. I don't think we bought Verly recently. I guess the best way to check is the zoo. Go to our Habitat animals, pronghorn antelope. Come on. I thought this would be a lot faster. Verley. Verley is... Not say over here where you were born? I was so sure that it says. Anyways, you know what? We're gonna trade her out. My head is hurting a little too much for me to quadruple check this. We're gonna trade her out, and I apologize for that. But farewell, Verley. Apart from that, I guess we want to get our tigers going as well, but I'll deal with that in a second. So we've got our pronghorn antelopes taken care of. We have our A star as the new father to be. He's going to be the alpha, obviously, sitting over here looking like a boss. Great genes. Okay, good. Pronghorn antelope taken care of. Komodo dragons. There are some things that I forgot about them. I'm just going down the order of my my list of to-dos based on what y'all pointed out that I'd kind of forgotten or made mistakes with, because I want to make sure I hit all those notes before I forget. It's one of those days, folks. But the Komodo dragon is missing bedding, which is entirely my bad, obviously. We're going to go ahead and put the bedding down. It's nice to see the animals sleep. I guess we could put the bedding down up over here, right? You actually don't mind that kind of strange cave shape. And this issue was pointed out. Y'all have eagle eyes, honestly. I don't know how you noticed it. Many of you pointed this out. Thank you for it. It's now there. No baby Komodo dragons should be escaping from this little corner over here, hopefully. There we go. I do kind of want to move this out a little bit, though. Something like that, maybe. There we go. And they should be able to get up from here, cross over. I mean, we could move the food over a little bit. Pull the terrain up underneath it. I just reduce the size a little bit. There we go. Surprised I didn't flatten the terrain. I think probably because flatten terrain's on. That's not what I intended. Okay, I realize the issue now. I think I have to use the move tool. Yes. You can't use the advanced placement tool. You have to use a regular movement tool. I'm pretty sure, by the way, the keeper can climb up over here. Anything the animal can climb, anything the animal can traverse without having to climb, keepers can typically get up on top of. But I'll keep an eye out on that to make sure it's the case. Another thing that was pointed out was that the viewing angles over here might actually be pretty crummy. So let's go ahead and fix that, shall we? Because I don't disagree. I think this might be a little too high. So let's go ahead and flatten this area a little bit. Try and make it a bit more interesting from the people's angle over here. Get the animal down over here. Yeah, I feel like it'd be a lot more interesting to see them from, like, rather than looking up at them, because they're a pretty low-profile animal. So rather than looking up at them, you're kind of at the same level as them. Hopefully this will give them a little escape up there as well. Good stuff. And move you in here. Move you up here. The other thing that was suggested is that maybe we reduce how much water we've got going on over here. Again, like, a lot of the time I execute something, but just because I execute something doesn't mean I'm married to it. Because the reason why I say it is because many of you apologize when you give me feedback. You're like, hey, sorry, I don't mean to be mean, or and I appreciate that. That's very, very kind. However, don't worry about it. No one to date, no one has given feedback in any rude sort of a way. And I guess that's just kind of it. It's like, if you're providing feedback, I totally appreciate it. I think feedback is a really cool way for us to, interact and work together in building some fascinating stuff. And with it comes, suggestions for making changes. And that's not a problem at all. That is not a problem at all. That's part and parcel of getting feedback, and I won't get offended when some edits are suggested. So just wanted to let y'all know, don't be worried about suggesting edits, but also if I don't make them because of personal preferences, don't be hurt that I stuck with what I wanted to do in some cases either, because that will happen sometimes. The water level looked like it went back. Trying to make sure. I know I'm rambling a lot today. I think it's probably because the head, but just trying to sort some of these things out. Make sure we have a better enclosure for these animals. Yeah, see, the moment I raise, that's kind of weird. I don't think it's because of the animals. I mean, I know they are, one of them's in the water right now, but I don't think that'd be what's causing the problem. See, because she gets popped. Oh, you know what? Maybe it is what's causing the problem. Let's go ahead and unpause for a second here. Let it get boxed up. Well, then we'll do the water. Come on now. Come on, game. Just waiting for it to unpause. Any second now. And all the notifications are going to explode in my face. Wow. I didn't redo much pathing. I'm surprised it's taking so long to unpause. Now, actually, many of you were pointing out that seeing the frame rate starting to drop might be a good reason to look at a new zoo in the franchise, which is scary to think about. But I mean, we are seeing every once in a while some pretty hefty frame rate drops. Come on, game, I believe in you. I believe you can fight through this. I think this is the longest. There we go. Just about to say I might have to edit this, but I guess not. All right, so yeah, I guess it is because of the being in the water. Go ahead and pause it again so that the notifications don't absolutely wreck my day. And there we go. A little bit more land over here. We could maybe add a bit more land over here as well. The idea here is that having a bit more land out front would allow for better viewing angles down over here, because this is really lacking in good views. Actually, this reminds me, I should probably get rid of that and make this into a staff path so that our guests aren't going up there and getting, you know, disappointed and whatnot. But yeah, we need more viewing spots from over here. And so by having a little bit more terrain raised over here, they might see the animal more often. And maybe we put some toys down and stuff as well. One thing I realize I've been doing a lot of lately is I've been putting toys down based on their enrichment desires, as opposed to thinking about the views. Like I wait until enrichment is at 100% rather than don't worry, the word will come to me. So I wait until it's at 100% rather than doing more just for the sake of creating better views. But this should be good. People over here will have a pretty interesting view of it feeding. People over here will have a good view of it using the rubbing pad and potentially eating up there as well. And of course, people who are over here will have a great view of it eating, now with our fancy new pathing that I've built as well. All right, so that's all the Komodo Dragon stuff I think taken care of as well. Well, actually, that's not true. I got names. If I can just get the camera to cooperate. There we go. So, man, there's some really good names. Let's start with the Hot Dog Squad is actually going to be renamed Reptiles. I'm loving it. Pip Shot Water is going to be Spit Shot Water, and yes, we already have a Spit Shot Water, so I guess, you know, they're a bit of a brand name, you know, Spit Shot Water, the most popular drink. The information center is going to be called Draginfo. And as I was reading through the comments, it seems that there are a few other options that I could put down over here. That'd probably be a good idea. So let's go ahead and add a few more facilities. I've already got name suggestions for them, but that's the thing. I was reading through and I was like, oh, you know what? I didn't put one of these down, and I should. So first things first, a little bit of food variety goes a long way. We've got the hot dogs, but let's also add some pizzas. And the pizzas, oh, I love the name for this one. I love all the names. All the names, it's always so hard for me to pick and choose. The name suggestions are always so much fun. Pop you down over here, buddy.
Pizza Pen.
And Pizza Pen, you are going to be... Can't believe I'm doing this. Komodo Slice, except it's Komodo Slice, because pizza dough. This stuff brings me too much joy. And then finally, an extra opportunity to make a little bit of money over here with some merch sales. I feel like Looney Balloons. I feel like we could use another Looney Balloons over here. Looney Balloons, I suppose is how it's said. But that's irrelevant because it's not going to be a Looney Balloons. I'll tell you what it's going to be. So I can place it. Stop the snapping. There we go. Put you down over there. Yeah, I think the Looney Balloons is the way to go. Gotta move this tree a little bit. Just gotta get it out of the way there. Maybe some like Like that. Yeah, there we go. That works. Oh, and this is going to be commodities. God. All right, done. So all the naming there is done. So this should be really good for us to make some money. Actually, on that note, as y'all pointed out, I should probably get some ATMs down here because otherwise we're not going to be making any money at all. Let's put one down there, and I don't think we need one down here. This is going to be a very crowded space, admittedly, but I want to see... Well, it's going to be crowded in terms of how much stuff we have. I really want to see it get used. Such a nice little cubby, and once we get all the decorations done, it'll be such a nice corner of the zoo. I'm really happy with it. Really happy with it. Folks, I know some of you were giving me name suggestions for the Komodo Dragons enclosure. Keep them coming. I'll pick a name next session. Again, there's one top contender that has not yet been dethroned, so it's looking like it's going to be that. But I'll give you all. I want to see some more suggestions so we can have a bigger pool to pick from. I always like seeing name suggestions and you know getting all that going. It's just a lot of fun in my opinion. We end up with some really great names. So let's see what else have I got to do. I've got my Komodo Dragon corner my Komodo corner, so to speak, has been taken care of. All the names, all the management done. Good stuff. Snow leopards, I guess, you know what, let's, well, actually, before we dive onto the last bit of the snow leopard work that needs to be done, this was pointed out a couple episodes ago, and I forgot to do it last session, so let's go ahead and fix this right now. There we go. Just a little bit of the thing sticking out was frustrating some folks, and it was honestly frustrating me too, and I just kept forgetting to do it. With that all done, let's go ahead and hit play. Head back to our Komodo Dragon corner. Hopefully these alerts will go away. And I need to add... I'm almost starving. Not smoke burst, I want smoke. Just smoke. I'm hoping that our caretakers will take care of these animals, because they're paid to do. You know what? I need to hire more staff, I think. I need to hire more staff. I need to get more training going. Put more of these down. There we go. And, of course, it starts to snow. Which reminds me of the next thing, which is that the Komodo Dragons probably prefer hotter temperatures. Just pick you and go to your Zoopedia. I think we're going to pause again. I'm barely seeing any time progress. 12 to 42 degrees. Let's go with a comfortable 30. Habitat. Heaters. Put one down this corner over here. All right, I keep forgetting they default to 30. There we go. We'll probably do like 20 around our people. Move you before I forget again. Duplicate you in here. Just realized I forgot to actually properly name the Kathmandu. Did I? Oh, I can't remember. Brain's dying. Alright, we're getting some heat over there. Let's go and get some heat over here as well. Don't want them to not want to go anywhere. Like, I want to spread the warmth out everywhere so that there's no no concern with them staying warm. And then for the people, go ahead and put one down over here. Set it to 20 degrees. A bit more comfortable, I would say. Duplicate that, and then we've got the pip shot water in the back. It's almost like I want to make it even hotter back there so that people are encouraged to get cold drinks a bit more. Down here, another one over here. Got one of you down over here. That looks like it belongs. Don't out of the group. There we go. Good stuff. Maybe another one off to the side over here. I like tucking them away if possible. I prefer tucking them away, especially when they'd otherwise be like near people. The animal enclosures, sometimes I need to do a better job of tucking them away. It was something I was doing a lot early on, but then I realized with some animals it's almost impossible without it looking very weird. So it's like if it looks weird one way, if it looks weird both ways, then what makes more sense to do? Right. There we go. That should warm the area up enough, I think. Oh, actually, I should put some down next to the washroom as well. Try and keep it warm over here. And I believe I need to put one down maybe over here in this corner as well. Make it really warm next to this donation bin. Cool. Alright. Cool. Not cool. Hot. Bad jokes aside. Just check this. I do. I did. Okay. Sorry. I must have forgot. It must have slipped my mind. So we've got the heat down. I need to check on Flamingo Park. What's going on over here? Animals are starving. Like, that's ridiculous. Call the keeper. Keeper en route. Good. Let's go ahead and take a look at our zoo staff. Do it by star rating. Give all these vendors training. It's mostly vendors that are new hires. I haven't hired much else in a while, and I guess that's part of the problem. We do have some keepers and stuff. I think I'm gonna hire some more keepers, though. People are just not able to stay on top of the issues. We're just not able to stay on top of the issues. That's enough of that for now. And Flamingo Park, what work zone are you in? And actually, before I check that, yeah, thought so. Work zones. India Center, maybe? Looks like you are in India Center as well. India Center is a pretty big one. I might add more animals to more caretakers and stuff to India Center. More keepers, rather, I should say. Hire a couple of you. There we go. Both of you. Get your salaries down a little bit. And India Center. Thank you. You as well. Because the flamingos constantly have issues. Let's do that. Hopefully that'll do the trick. Hopefully. We'll see. I think we're good to unpause. I think all the big things, all the big management things have been taken care of as far as like all my notes are concerned. Now it's all a matter of what pops up here. Yeah, I'm not digging this smoke. Doesn't look right. Not for here. I know what it does look right for, though. Animal is starving. I better not start losing animals because they're starving. I will be very upset at my staff. There isn't much else I can do than tell a keeper to go and literally spotted a protester. Hang on. Oh, God. They just got fed. The protesters must be leaving now, so I got a spot fine. 1. Everything else is going to be perfect, I'm sure. Yeah, they just got fed. Oh my, it's fine. It's not the end of the world. And that's not just a pun. I'm not saying it's fine because it is a fine. I'm saying it's fine because it's okay. It's all right. I'm not bothered by it. Inspector has left. Wow, they spotted the protester like on their way out. Where is... There it is. Perfect time to do this. Go ahead and put some of y'all down. There we go. This was pointed out a couple sessions ago that I forgot to put smoke down for the chimney. That problem is now been solved. Can't really tell against like the stark white background. Also, it doesn't really work when it's clipping through here. Putting you up over here. Come on now, there we go. I don't mind a little bit of smoke clipping through. You know, it suggests like gaps in the structure and whatnot. Too much of it looks wrong. There we go. We'll see how that looks shortly, I'm sure. I think I'll add a little bit more actually. Another one over here. One over here. There we go. Real smoky. Real smoky. Alright. Hopefully that'll look good. Animals will fight for alpha status. That's okay. I expect Sirius to win. So I suspect this also means that we've had a little bit of aging going on. Yep, these guys have become adults. Well, one of them has. The Trade Center. Serious, or it's Searless. I keep reading that as an I. Searless remains the alpha. Please and thank you. All right, that's that done. What's going on over here? Can't find an accessible staff room. I believe in you. There's plenty of staff rooms nearby. Snow leopards. I'll put more staff rooms down. Sorry, I don't mean to just dismiss that. It's just I had 25 starving animals. I'm a bit more bothered about that. So the snow leopards can actually get their food quality upgraded all the way. Should be fine. I think we'll be fine from a financial perspective. I think we also need to put down some more heaters here. 30 degrees. Let's put you down to 20. And pop you down over here. Warm this area up a little bit. Let me just check. I couldn't actually see. I wish it was still snowing so I could see what's going on over here in terms of heating and cooling. I think we've got decent coverage. What? Oh, okay. I thought these were protesters. They're just people with hats. It's okay. Heading to the Ivory Palace. Heading to donation box. Yes, yes. Do more. No, hey, hey. Oh, okay, good. That's weird. Did you even see a Komodo dragon? Guess they must have. I certainly can't see one. Nonetheless, let's go ahead and say hello to some people. Hello, hello. Hello. And to you as well. Our zoo has become ridiculously huge. I love it. I love how varied it is as well. Just as we're saying hello to everybody, we keep seeing completely different types of structures and everything. Wild. And actually being here reminds me. Can I wish there were better selection methods available. There we go. Didn't take as much effort as I was worried it might. We should get some waterfalls in here. This is again suggested in the comments. Just an idea, a way of getting some of that tranquility feeling going, I think is absolutely great. It's absolutely great. Nudge you up a little bit. There we go. Pull you down a touch. Dangerous animal has escaped. From where? Oh my god, how did you make your way through? Oh, you know what? This is completely open. Of course they made their way through. Of course you made your way through. Foolish me. Where would I block you, though? I guess I could... Oh, you know what? I'm going to let them go all the way back to there. I like that. All right, so... What's the deal here? Okay, that's what we're doing here. So let's go ahead and push you over to here. All the way to... I wish when you do the null barriers that it could go up and around terrain more easily. Doesn't make sense to me that it has a hard time going up and down terrain. Considering, you know, it's a null barrier. It's not really there. It's no physical item. There we go. There. This will be nice, I think. So we go all the way up to there. Multiple animals have low welfare again. Why? I'll check which one it is. Get them more keepers, perhaps. I think it's just time that we get a bunch more keepers. It just makes sense. Here's the problem again with the null barrier is like it doesn't want to come back down. So I got to go up there instead. Fair enough. Snap to that. All right. Stuff. And let's go ahead and get some of these little ruins pieces. Drop them in over here. Hopefully block their ability to swim through here. Yeah, looks like it kind of falls through appropriately. Decently suspended by actual, physics. Sort of. There we go. And that should stop them from swimming through. And that should act as a little blockade. And that means that our guests will be able to see the Komodo dragon over here as well. And let's see how often the dragons go back there. Could be a really interesting viewing spot. Oh, I really like that, actually. Just a happy accident, I suppose. But I really like that. Oh, okay, you know what? I think it's time to take a look at our enclosures. Not enclosures, but exhibit animals. How do I... The trade center. That's the problem over here. I'm pretty sure it's... Is it hunger or is it just cleanliness? Okay, well, it's about to be cleaned right now. Yeah, good stuff. Let's take care of all these animals. I said I was going to do this at the top of this episode and then just got completely distracted by literally everything else. Let's go ahead and get this done right now. Okay, you're still fine. Surprising, but I'll take it. Go ahead and get you in the trade center. And you guys are fine as well. I must have traded them relatively recently. Over here. Go ahead and get you over to the trade center. The good thing about this as well, like doing it this way again, is like I'm not limited to the 30 or whatever. So move y'all. Go ahead and keep a couple of y'all. There we go. Yep, done. Gotta get... No, you're fine over here. What about down over here? Sure, there's a little bit of unhappiness. Go. For a new pair. Don't actually need to... Wait, snow leopards are fine. You to... Oh, overcrowding. God, are you kidding me? Yes. Baby has become an adult. Oh my god. Stop it. Not the quarantine. They are injured. Who's got the better genes? Or baby has the better genes. 75, 83, 33, 33 versus 91, 91, 50, 66. Alright, well... I guess we're going to take you to the trade center. And we're going to need a new father as well. Oh! Yes! You climbed up on your own! Oh, that makes me so happy. That makes me so happy. You know what doesn't make me happy, though, is how these guys are kind of like not actually... There we go. Gotta fix this. But seeing them naturally climb these things and whatnot makes me very happy. Just because it tells me that all that effort was actually worth it and they're actually interacting with it. Alright, where'd you go? Not taking my eyes off you for too long. Alright, I guess. Oh, those are such great genetics, though. I wonder if I should trade. Obviously, inbreeding. Because these are good genes. 91, 91, 50, 66 versus 83, 83, 66, 100. Oh, the bottom two don't matter as much as the top two, right? We know this. So maybe you need to go into the trade center. And we need a new male snow leopard. We need a new male snow leopard. Come on, snow leopard. There we go. Want good genes for my baby. I guess Altan's the way to go. They're not great genes. I could be patient. I could wait a little bit longer. These aren't bad. I wish it would give us numbers. These aren't bad, though. Overall ends up higher. That's what matters most. So, you know what? Sure. Gonna take a risk here and hit refresh. Alright, let's bring you in. 400 is not that bad. We got lots of conservation credits. Over to quarantine first, of course. Get you in there. Should be a quick trip. And then over in to the actual enclosure afterwards. Alright. Crazy session, folks. I think we've got a fair bit done. I want to see how our Komodo Dragons are doing, how they're feeling. How they're interacting with the space. Where are you? They out for a swim? Well, that about answers my question. No, it hasn't escaped. How's that an escape? Oh, because of the angle over here. It's fine. It hasn't escaped. There we go. Good. We're good, we're good. There we go. Gotta move this up as well. Come on now. There. Oh, okay. Yeah. There. What are the chances that it would go into that one little angle? Okay. Definitely pretty high, knowing my luck. Alright, buddy's up over here. Nope, Enda's up over here. Buddy's taking a swim. Hey. Alright, buddy. You're feeling good, you're feeling great, that's excellent. I'm feeling pretty good about this as well. Now people are starting to come through here. Oh, we started getting some donations already. 240 in that middle one. 20. 160. Alright, you know, that's not bad. About 500 or so worth of donations. Not bad. I wish there were some better views. I mean, that's not a bad view, right? Like, that can't be classified as a bad view. What are people saying? Wish I could have stayed longer. You can get a good view. Alright, cool. That's good balance, if you ask me. Good balance. No, oh. I was just about to say no notifications. That's not a very common thing to see. Yeah, let's go ahead and pull you into Kathmandu. And how are the crowds doing over here? All donations there. All donations here. What about up over here? People would just come here and have a great view. I feel like the biggest problem with having such massive enclosures is that the views get worse. Which many of you have pointed out as well. The views just get worse when you have enclosures this big. Come on. Donation bin. I mean, look at that. Look at that view of this animal being so graceful and beautiful. How can you not drop a donation when you see that? Also, this is good because it confirms that despite my edits, they can still climb. I wish I saw how far they'd gotten. Exactly what they were doing up there. But come on, that's gotta be... These guys don't donate. I will judge them. Is this not educating? It should be. Everything's fine. Alpha status fight. That means we gotta get rid of another new adult here. Where are you, buddy? You. Wait. Oh no. Fighting before you became an adult. Again, great genes. Great genes. We'll trade them next session. I've got a lot of trading to do, and I think I'll do all the trading next session. God, are you kidding me? Why? What was wrong with the view? I'm not impressed by this view. You're kidding me. It's such a good view. They don't know what they're talking about. They're wrong. I don't know. I would classify that as a good view. We saw what they were seeing. I would classify that as a good view. And the dragon's doing okay. Where's our other one? There we go, up there. Kind of lounging a fair bit. Now, people are able to come here pretty easily through the Southeast Asia section, but also from up over here. Good to see. We got to get the rhinos soon. I haven't forgotten about the rhinos. We have to get them soon. But, I want to do the Rangtang next. Probably, yeah, get them a nice enclosure over here. Make a little bit of a forested area, more natural style area. And use this aesthetic a bit more. And again, we might swap this stuff out when we're doing that as well. Alright, I just want to see them do something. I want to see them do something. Alright, I got distracted over here. How do the Titan beetles get more of a crowd than our animals that have dragon literally in their name? Come on. I'm kidding. I understand some people really like bugs. I was not one of those kids. I was not a fan of bugs. Go ahead and do that. And you auto the trade center. Is that all the animals down here? I think I've got them all done. Yep. Oh no, not you. Go ahead and again select all minus a couple males, couple females. There we go. And of course, the ones at Om Nom Nom. Oh, you know what? Hey, cool. Nice. You look away for a bit, you come back, and the crowds start to show up. That's great. That's great. I was starting to get a little... I don't want to say upset. Upset's a strong word. I was a little bummed out, I guess, that Om Nom Nom wasn't seeing so much action, because I love the name. And it was just a little unfortunate that it wasn't making us that much revenue. But it's looking good now. Looking good. Yeah, there's some decent crowds up over here. People using the bins. That's good. That's good. And of course, massive crowds over here. Fantastic. That makes me very happy to see. And of course, the last animal that's kept in a little box. These guys. You are pregnant. You get to stay, of course. There we go. And let's go ahead, take a look at our exhibit trading and see how much money we're going to rake in. 67 animals, almost $24,000. Wild. Absolutely wild. You know what else is wild? How long this session's gone for. Folks, I had to call it. Our flamingos are hungry yet again. Hopefully a keeper's on it already. I think maybe I need to put down another feeding spot. It's funny, when I pause, the frame rate's perfectly smooth. I guess it's just calculating all the guests and stuff is the real challenge. Let's put down another food bowl over here. Let's put down another food bowl. That one down there. That one up over here. I've already got them everywhere. Yeah, I've got so many food bowls. That shouldn't be a problem. That shouldn't be the problem. It's just a matter of the keepers coming here. Maybe I need to hire even more keepers and raise their star rating and stuff. But yeah, I was really hoping to see Komodo Dragons do something. I wanna have an epic dragon moment that I can capture. Where'd the other one go? Always so worried that they're gonna be up to some mischief. Well, I can see that they can come up over here just fine, enjoying the heat. And if only people would actually come here. Edit this a little bit. Fix this and make sure it's actually closed. There we go. That'll do the trick. Like, these are some pretty good views. Just a matter of convincing people to come back here. I guess that's just it. It's like people don't really explore. People don't really explore. They just stick with the the path of least resistance. They go where they first get a view from, and then they're fine with that. I don't get a mating notification, but you know, if I was a betting man. Yeah, I was just about to say, look at the way he's looking at her. Look at the way she's looking at him. Well, folks, next session's going to have some baby Komodo Dragons, I think. But for now, we're going to call it a session. I hope you all enjoyed this one. If you did, let me know by leaving a like and a comment down below. If you didn't, let me know by leaving a comment down below. You can hit the dislike button if you want to, but whatever you want. As always, folks, a massive thanks goes out to all of my channel members and patrons for supporting the channel on a monthly basis. You keep us alive and running smoothly. And a big old thanks goes out to each and every one of you for watching. Until next time, cheers.